When I first started on Etsy, I thought I had it all figured out. Spoiler alert, I was wrong. Today I'm going to share with you the top 3 mistakes that I made whilst I was getting started with Etsy. I basically just don't want you to make the same mistakes that I did. And I'll also be sharing some practical tips that have helped me overcome these challenges, so be sure to stick around so you don't miss them. If you're new here, hi there, I'm Daniel, and I've been selling on Etsy for quite some time now, and also have a background in business strategy and in teaching. And now I'm here to help you in navigating the tricky waters of Etsy, so hopefully you don't make the same mistakes that I did. So with that, let's dive into it. So mistake number 1 was not understanding the importance of customer service. Let's get this straight. Customer service is not only for big brands. If you're running an Etsy store, you're also running your own little customer service hub. I neglected this in the beginning, and I definitely learned my lesson from it very quickly. Etsy is a marketplace that really thrives on community trust, and so one bad review can really set you back, especially if you're just getting started and you don't have that many reviews yet. So here are a couple of things that you can do to help turn you into a customer service superstar. First off, if you get a message from someone, be sure to respond to them in a timely and also in a friendly manner. Make sure that you're consistent around how you respond to someone and when you do so. Trying to do so as quickly as possible. Also, the time will come when a customer reaches out with a complaint or an issue. I know how disheartening it can be to receive those dreaded negative messages. But the last thing you should do is get frustrated at them. Keep a smile on that virtual face of yours and keep to your consistently friendly tone. Trust me, it will go a long way to helping your customer and you coming to an agreeable solution. To help save you time and to keep your messaging consistent, I'd recommend creating a database with canned responses and templated sentences that you can use time and time again and essentially copy and paste together and personalized to the customer's needs. I've also learned that it's always best to try to be proactive rather than reactive when it comes to our customers. So instead of waiting for problems to turn up on your doorstep, trying to anticipate the needs of your customers. Try to put yourself in your customer's shoes and have a think about what questions, concerns, or issues they may have. And then try to proactively respond and answer those questions throughout your store and your listings. So for example, you could use your store announcement section, your listing description, even your listing photo cards, and your FAQ section in your store to start answering some of these more common or frequent questions that you may receive. Over time, you'll get a sense of what the different questions are that your customers are asking you so that you can start to proactively plan for those. But to get you started, here are some questions that I quite frequently get asked. And those are, how long will it take for my product to arrive? What brand of apparel do you use? Are there any bulk discounts available? What is your return policy? And do you accept custom requests? There are a bunch of others, but I would say these are the top 5 questions that I used to get asked quite frequently. Listen, your customers could be your biggest advocates, but also your worst critics, all rolled into one. Treat them right, and you'll not only see repeat purchases, but you'll also gain from word of mouth marketing. Ignore this aspect, and let's just say your Etsy journey could start to get a little rocky. But do you know what's easier than dealing with a difficult customer? Subscribing to this channel. I share weekly business strategies that you can use to improve your Etsy store, and I would love to have you along for the ride. And if you're learning something so far, why not click that like button as well? Oopsie number 2 was not having a bulletproof return policy. I really struggled with this one for quite a while. So on Etsy, you can actually decide what kind of return policy you would like to implement for your store. And when I first started, I was the good guy. I was offering a very generous return policy, no questions asked. Sounds good on paper, right? But returns aren't always as straightforward as they seem on Etsy, especially if you're in the print-on-demand space. With print-on-demand, you have two options for returns. You can either have the customer return the item to the print provider, or you can provide your address so that they ship it to you. And this is actually something that you can decide and set up in your print provider's settings, so in Printful or on Printify. But if it gets returned to your print provider, they're not going to store it for you, and you likely won't ever see that item again. And if it comes back to you, well, you're then sitting on a mountain of returned clothing, scratching your head, wondering what to do with it all. And as my sales started to climb, the number of returns that I was accepting were also increasing. Now that wasn't because my products were bad or faulty, it was simply a matter of numbers. So typically the higher your sales, the higher the number of returns that you'll receive. And I'll be honest with you, dealing with all the returns just turned into a bit of an administrative nightmare for me. It was bogging me down, and at the end of the day, I was losing money from all these returns. And well, my closet was getting a little full. So I made a tough decision. I switched my entire store to a no return policy. Yep, you heard me right. And I can already hear the gasps from you. Didn't you just tell us to focus on customer service? Well, to balance this out, I went all out on pre-purchase information. Again, we want to be proactive rather than reactive, so I wanted to make sure that the customer had all the information that they needed to make a smart purchasing decision that they wouldn't regret. We're talking detailed size guides, color guides, multiple product photos, the whole 9 yards. The goal is to preemptively answer any question that might lead the customer to return the item, so that hopefully they won't have to. I will caveat, however, that I do still always accept returns if the product is faulty, and I do make that very clear in all of my listing descriptions and in my store announcement. But guess what? Since making that shift, my returns have gone down drastically. And on top of that, I've won back a lot of free time to work on other things around my store. And somewhat surprisingly, my sales haven't gone. Quite the contrary, they've actually continued to increase. Now, while this no return approach works very well for me, I know it might not be your cup of tea. And that's absolutely fine. If you're willing to take on a little bit more admin work to offer a more flexible return policy, then hats off to you. I really encourage you to experiment and see what works best for you. And mistake number 3 was thinking that I was going to be an Etsy millionaire overnight. Listen, here's the truth. Despite what you may have heard from others, having an Etsy store is not a set it and forget it kind of deal. You're probably not going to be retiring after 1 month of work and then watching your shop grow whilst you sit on the beach and drink margaritas. Especially when you're just starting out, you need to be prepared to put in the time and the effort. You're the designer, the marketer, the accountant, and even the janitor cleaning up your customer messes. You're wearing all the hats, my friend, and it's important that you stay on top of it all. And trust me, you'll likely hit rough patches along the way as well. Sales might slump, you might experience logistical issues with items being sold out. It happens. There might even be days when you question why you even started this venture in the first place. It happened to me, and honestly, sometimes it still does. However, pushing through these barriers is where the real growth happens. You'll refine your craft, develop better marketing skills, and also get to know your customers on a much deeper level. Don't get me wrong, it's absolutely possible to scale and start making great money on Etsy. It's just not going to happen overnight. You've got to be prepared to roll up your sleeves and dig in. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither will your Etsy empire be. And there you have it, friends. Those are the top 3 mistakes that I made as I started on my Etsy journey. Trust me, taking customer service seriously, nailing that return policy, and also making sure your mind is in the right place will make all the difference. To finish off, I would love to hear from you and hear what mistakes you've maybe made in your Etsy journey so far and what you've done to try to overcome them. Let us know in the comments down below. I'll be sure to respond to you. And if you found this video valuable, go ahead and click that like button, and why not subscribe while you're at it so that we can go through your Etsy journey together.